Hi and welcome. Hope we've got people joining us here right now. I think we do. I see our number going up. Hi, I'm Lisa from the Law Library, and with me today is Kristine Custodio Suero and Kimberly Houston, our speakers today. And we're going to give everybody just a minute to get signed on here. We're expecting a fair number of people today. I'm so glad you're able to join us for this conversation about job hunting in the legal arena. A couple of housekeeping things before we get started. There is going to be a short survey that you will see a link to when you leave the session today. We always really appreciate any feedback that you can give us about our programming. We do take it into consideration for future programming. So please, if you have time, we'd appreciate you taking our quick little online survey about the program today. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is that this is interactive. As much as we can make Zoom interactive today, we were talking before we got started about how we used to do these in person in the library and it would be so lively. Well, we try to duplicate that here on Zoom. So we wanted to let you know that you are able to ask our speakers questions today, but we do ask that you use the Q&A function. You'll see an icon on your screen with two speech bubbles that says Q&A. That's where you can click and post any questions you have. We'll try to get to as many as we can today. And then you can also post those either under your name or anonymously, whatever you're comfortable with. And hopefully we'll be able to get some conversation going as well as the presentation today. So I think that's about everything I have. And I'm going to disappear myself so we can get started.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Lisa. Can you all hear me? Yeah. All right. So my name is Kristine Custodio Suero. I'm here with Kim Houston, one of my favorite friends and colleague, to talk about something that we love so much. And that is about empowering you to be in to be the career architect, basically, of your dream job. And we have a really cool dynamic between the two of us because I am a senior paralegal and a business development director for a small law firm here in San Diego. And Kim and I met through the legal world, the legal arena, and she has this extensive background and is a subject matter expert in legal staffing. She places hundreds of people into their ideal jobs every year. So she has that insight that she's going to bring today with me. And we are going to get started. But before we get started, Kim, why don't you just give yourself a brief introduction?
Hi, everyone. Are you able to see everyone? Am I able to see everyone?
I think so. I know.
No, you're not able to in this forum. This is Lisa popping in, but I know there's about 20 people with us right now. If you can visualize that.
I do. Yes, I see the participant number growing. Oh, I'm so sad I can't see everyone. This is such a human thing, but really nice to meet you. I am a career enthusiast. I make matches. I'm the matchmaker extraordinaire, but I've spent the balance of the last 15 years, both on the agency side and in-house at Big Law, being the decision maker and hiring. And I've got incredible knowledge to share with you. I've got the do's and the don'ts, and nothing makes me more excited when I can match someone with their dream job and help curate your own destiny for you, for your individual person. Everyone's different, and Kristine and I will talk about a great plan. Right before we jumped on, we were talking about circa 2013, 2014, we were doing this in person. So this has been ongoing we took like a 10-year hiatus, 8-year hiatus, and we're back in action via Zoom, more knowledgeable, more powerful, more connected, and ready to bring you everything you need to have in your toolbox for success.
I love it, Kim. I love it. And just to kick us off, and remember, please, we want this to be interactive for you. We are here for you. I'm also an educator at the University of San Diego School of Law Paralegal program. I know lots of words. I'm the instructor of Introduction to Law. And I'm so passionate about helping people understand who they are, what they want to do with these skills, how they want to make an impact and leave a legacy. First, I want to kind of set the stage for everyone here today because, hello, newsflash, we're in the midst of a radical shift. What do we mean by that? Hello, 3 years into this pandemic, right? I mean, talk about radical shift. We thought because shift is happening as we speak, right? Shift happens and we are experiencing it present day. I mean, look at us. Kim's situated in Michigan. I'm here in San Diego, California. And yet here we are sharing this next hour with you to figure out what is it you need to do in order to access that job you really, really want, or explore opportunities of what jobs are out there for you. Let's do a quick poll by maybe in the Q&A, if you can maybe pop in some responses there. Who here is currently employed, or are you seeking a job? We want to know who's kind of maybe exploring but is employed, but maybe you could also be unemployed and seeking a position. Seeking a student. All right, Irene, I see you. Michelle, both. I love it. Anyone else? Seeking a job, eating. All right, good. So that's not all of you, because we see that there's about 18 of you in the audience today. But we're going to assume that most of you are kind of seeking a job, right? Seeking employment. So Kim, do you want to talk a little bit about what this radical shift is and what we're kind of having to look at and deal with while we are navigating this?
I mean, I don't know if I can speak because every second it's changing. we are in this crazy paradigm, a virtual world or in-person world, or are we virtual again? Are we in person again? Are we virtual? I mean, this huge push and pull constantly. And there's a slide coming up that will address this really well. And we'll talk about your agility to adapt to this. But the shift has been great, and it's been across the board. And I think as much as everybody has felt the pains and the excitement and we've come over this huge hurdle and then the defeat of setbacks, we're experiencing it all together. And I think there's some incredible things that have come out of the last few years. Like Kristine said, I'm sitting here in Michigan. I launched my own firm. I created my own destiny and momming and business owner all at the same time. There's been opportunities presented to candidates that I've never seen in the 15 years that I've been doing this, for highly innovative jobs in the legal field. People who have been able to take a step and take a reach beyond what they could ever imagine, because this incredible gap for talent and the great reshuffle that's happening, this incredible ability for people to raise their hand in an organization that they love and create their own destiny. But what Kristine and I are going to talk to you about today is embracing this radical shift. Those who are thriving right now are embracing this radical shift. We cannot change it. We can be the change agent of so many things. You can be the change agent of you, but we cannot control this beast of the radical shift. We have got to just get on that surfboard, ride the waves, embrace and continue to be agile and move along with this madness that's happening. Because unfortunately it's happening everywhere.
Absolutely. And as the great Bruce Lee says, be the water, my friend, right? Be the water. You got to be flexible. You got to get with the times, get with the shift that is happening. Yes. And one of those things is, because we're going to talk about really core concepts of success in these challenging times, right? And kind of reframe it and to embrace it as opportunities that abound for you. And maybe think of ways that you could avail opportunities that you may not even have thought about. You know, how interesting is that? Like, I didn't know I could go work for a technology company, being a paralegal or a lawyer, or, someone who's interested in the law. But here's something that, is common across every situation you may be in small law, big law, in-house, wherever you find yourself. Business intelligence is no longer optional. And what do we mean by that? That means we have to understand, be able to articulate and advocate our value, our contributions to wherever we are situated. Small law, mid law, big law, whatever it is, in-house, whatever your situation is, your environment, how are you bringing that value to the client experience, to working as a team member and possibly as a leader in your firm? Do you have any other comments, Kim, on this?
I do. I can't emphasize highly enough what this means to you. And so I jotted down some notes, because failing to prepare is planning to fail, preparing to fail. And right on this business intelligence, the basic toolbox that you need to be successful in preparation is knowing your worth, exactly what Kristine said. And how can you possibly do that if you have not kept a journal, a log, a resume of your successes and wins? What do you bring to the table? And I emphasize this so highly because I have the most magical success story of a candidate, an amazing, incredible paralegal I've been working with for over, actually years now, client turn candidate turn client turn, a coaching opportunity for me. And we've been assessing and reviewing her career. And every time we chat, I push her out of the comfort zone just a little bit more and ask her, why? What are you looking for? What do you bring to the table? And we finally got to a point where I said, what are the tangible successes you have had in your career? And she said, well, I don't know. I don't have that list. And this is something you need to continue to develop. You should have a running list of your successes. Do you need to put every single one of them on your resume? No, keep those bullet points, keep that succinct and clear and really crisp, but have that ongoing list wherever you want to keep it, on your computer, in a journal, under your bed pillow, so that you can wake up in the middle of the night and jot it down and say, I did this today, and this is tangible, and I can bring this. But you need to have that business intelligence about yourself and your successes and what you have brought to the business playing field. Where you elevated your working environment for you, yourself, and your business. Those things are what is going to help drive you to the next level. And I say all of this because I'm working with this individual who's incredible and amazing, and we've been searching and hunting and partnering together for her next step. And lo and behold, the opportunity she found was within her own organization, where she got the confidence because of this list she put together to put her hat in the ring for a manager and e-discovery lead position. And had she not developed this list of all the incredible things she had done, this happened over the last couple of weeks. She pinged me maybe last week and said, Kim, I got the confidence. I had the toolbox. I applied for this position. I'm waiting for the results. And I just got notification that she got it. But these are the things that you need to have, that business intelligence about yourself, the ROI on yourself that you have displayed over your career. I don't care if you were working at McDonald's, at a sub shop, at Nordstrom selling shoes. It does not matter. There is an opportunity you have seized on that allowed you to bring a value to your organization. And regardless of your experience level, none or 30 years, if you can articulate this, that is the toolbox you need to get that job.
Absolutely. And how we like to frame this up is personal branding. I love Kim's phrase on this. How does your personal branding translate, your transferable skills translate into the economics of the law, be it law firm or in-house? Because they're quite different, aren't they, Kim?
Quite different.
Right? Even in the tiered private law firms that are small, medium, or large, it's a different environment for each one of those tiers, and completely separate in-house departments in a corporation or company. So we're going to talk about that today. We want to kind of talk about this great resignation. Everyone here, I'm sure, right, has heard of this great resignation that's been going on. It started getting into the mainstream media, I think, like August 2021, but actually the Bureau of Labor Statistics actually has started reporting, and me and Kim and I love data. We love data. It informed decision-making. I started noticing the statistics in April of 2021 that continued to this day. Kim says she sees it slowing down a bit now, but what is happening is 4.1 million or around 4 million employees are leaving their jobs every month. Can you imagine what that feels like to be the employer? Have you all seen the job boards blowing up? I am sure you have, because it is a candidate's market right now. Kim, what does that mean to be a candidate's market?
The world is your oyster, my friends. The world is your oyster. These numbers are staggering. It's terrifying as an employer to see these numbers. And I think this graph shows an incredible breakdown, but it doesn't tell the whole story. And Kristine and I chatted a little bit about this before. And it doesn't necessarily depict exactly what's happening in the legal field. I think this is a really good overview of what's happening. But let's look at these numbers just a little bit, because compensation and corporate benefits, 36%. That is a huge piece of the pie. Better work-life balance, again, huge piece of the pie. I would argue to say, from my experience in interviewing, that the better work-life balance has a larger share of the pie in the recent months. Lack of recognition for the work, I would say, is always an underlying, I would say 99.9% of the time, always an underlier as to why someone leaves their job. Find better corporate culture, again, always. Company values don't align with theirs. I think the legal market has made such a dramatic shift in the last several years to become relevant and fresh, and kick down those stigmas of that cold, stuffy workplace where people are behind closed doors and the briefcase walk in. This in the legal marketplace, I think people are finding corporate culture is becoming, because it's become a pillar of what everyone's looking at. The legal market has really jumped on board in the last 5 years with that. And so I think when you look at this entire picture, the one thing if you take anything away from this presentation, I want you to listen to this. It is so imperative. I place people every single day. I mean, hundreds of people on an annual basis. And it is so imperative you look at every single thing in this pie chart and ensure that every aspect of it meets your goals when making a move. Because if you are one of the 36% that's making a move for better compensation, and you have not accounted for all those other areas, I can promise you, you will look for another job in another 6 months. And it's exhausting looking for a new job, and it's exhausting onboarding and ramping up in a new job. And so I really empower everyone through this conversations to start working on your marketing, your brand, and take a piece of every one of this pie, jot it down, workshop it. What does better work-life balance mean to you? What does recognition mean for you? What does corporate culture mean to you? And through your interview process, find something that meets everything in this pie. And they're out there. I promise you, there are companies out there that are meeting every single one. There are tons of them that are meeting everything for you. Compensation is not equal. Compensation is not everything. I had a candidate call me the other day. He was about to accept a position for $15,000 more than what he was making. When he received the total rewards benefit package, he would have actually been taking a pay cut because of the lack of benefits, retirement, working hours. So it's not just about compensation. So when looking at something big picture, look at everything. If you're applying to the right jobs, you will be paid commensurate with your experience. I promise you, 15 years of doing this, I rarely, 0.0001% do I run into situations with compensation with regards to commensurate experience and the opportunity.
Remember, compensation isn't just your salary. It's those little perks. And let me share something about my situation, because I started out with zero experience in the legal field. I'm sure some of you all today can relate to that, but I had zero. I was supposed to be in the medical field, but I shifted into the legal field and I got my paralegal training from UCSD. And then I went in as a file clerk at this firm I am in 18 years ago. And I built up this career for myself because I had a vision, right? I had a vision for what I wanted for myself in this career, as I'm sure you all do too. But I was like crystal clear, abundantly clear, but what I wanted to achieve in my career path. And today I sit as the senior paralegal and business development director for this law firm. This is a position, folks, that I negotiated for myself. It didn't exist in my law firm, but because I am passionate about business, small business, I love making money, I really was situated to be in this business development role. I love the community relations aspect of it. I love the marketing piece of it. I love it. And that, coupled with my legal experience and training for 18 years, has made my job so rewarding for me. And this firm supports the fact that I wanted to teach and pass this on to people. So don't think, for those of you that raised your hands or chatted with us and said, I am employed, but I am looking, think about what it is where you are that you do like. And if you're looking to make a change, I would encourage you to do an assignment that I give to my students that is now a graded assignment. And it is called a career development plan. So even piggybacking off what Kim is saying, look at this pie chart. Look at the pieces of this pie chart, but figure out what it means to you to be happy or satisfied in those particular areas. For me, I have a flexible schedule. That is important to me in this time of life. I want to be able to adjust my hours as needed, and have the blessing of the owners of this law firm. That's important to me. Can I put value on that? Probably not. Probably not. So what we're trying to get across to you here is, where there is vision, there is life. Be clear about what you want out of this. What does it look like to me to have a happy and rewarding company culture, right? Being part of a high caliber, high performing team. What does that look like for you and around you? Be very clear about that. Talk to folks about that. Build your network. Talk to people who are maybe employed in that company, firm, and see what their experience is like. Start collecting information in that regard. And agility, we've talked about this, right, Kim? We have to adjust to the times. Hello, here we are on Zoom, right? Here we are on Zoom together talking about our careers and where we're going with this and what we're doing with this. Now is the time. Am I right, Kim?
Yes, now is the time. The only way to be agile, though, is to be prepared. And I see this day in and day out. Those of you looking for jobs, looking unemployed or employed, you have to be prepared. The only way to be agile. I don't know if anyone plays sports, you're always ready. You're always in your ready stance, which is on your toes and ready and agile. And you are prepared. You are planning for every possible move coming up. The only way to do that is to have all of your ducks in a row. And so I encourage you to look at your toolbox, look at your resume, look at your LinkedIn, look at everything you would utilize. Have you contacted your professional references lately? Do you have people you can utilize? Does a recruiter or an employer pull up your LinkedIn and there's a picture of you with your dog that's blurry sideways? That can't happen. That can't happen. Your toolbox is not ready to be agile. What if in the moment you meet someone that has your dream job? Do you have everything prepared? Everyone has the access to make your toolbox ready and maximize its agility to be on the market at any given moment for any opportunity to open its door and you to see just pounce on it.
Absolutely, because it's timing.
You gotta be ready.
It's timing. And what Kim said too earlier is you never know who you're going to meet, right? You never know who you're sitting on. Maybe if you're on a plane, you don't know who you're sitting next to. You just never know. And to be ready, right? Because that's where success is, right? Preparation meets opportunity equals success. So you have to be prepared for that. And as we have stated, and we can't overemphasize this, the clients that are availing legal services are, clients of your law firm, if you're in-house, that is your client, right? Your company is your client if you're in-house. You're mitigating risk and liability to this company and trying to be efficient, and profit matters, right? Profit matters, as we had said earlier, the economics of the law, right? Kim, do you want to talk about that a little bit from your perspective?
I do. I coming from a big firm and also dealing with quite a few small firms, and now being a small business owner myself, the economics are huge, and you truly can understand your worth. And when you understand what the economics are, what are you being billed out at? What are you billing your clients? How much of your work is actually being paid? What are your payment terms of your client? Do you want to go to the defense side and have a firm on a contingency basis, your clients on a contingency basis, or pay hourly? Or are you on the plaintiff side where maybe your firm's not getting paid very often? You got to wait for a win. And so all of those things you need to think about. What is the organization has to make money. The organization they're in the state of California. They have ungodly amount of taxes to pay for you to be an employee. So you have to understand, encourage, push yourself to learn a little bit of that business side, understand, and any one of your supervisors or mentors or peers will help break it down. The numbers are actually quite simple. When you look at them at a high level view, anyone can understand them pretty easily. And just have someone sit and drill down with you so that you understand how money is funneling in and out of the organization and where you contribute to that, and where the hiccups come in that funnel and where that may hinder you in taking that next step or earning that next bonus, and how you can really dissect those problems and say, okay, well, here, this client is not doing this, but this client is, and here's what I can do for this client, and start planning and understanding where you can make the biggest impact.
Absolutely. Just having that awareness. And even what Kim said earlier about having your resume per se, just quantifying what your wins are, right? What are your W's here? What I have done, and this was one of the best tips I've ever received from one of my mentors in the legal field 18 years ago. And she said, when she started noticing me kind of coming up in the professional association world, she told me, she's like, Kristine, because she's kind of my proofreader and my, second eyes on things. She's like, Kristine, you need to start a CV, a curriculum vitae. I'm like, I'm not a lawyer. I don't need why would I need a curriculum vitae? And it was the best advice I've ever gotten. Why? Because it helped me to update my resume. It helped me to access opportunities, how I got to be able to speak to people about topics like this on career coaching and development. It's a tool. It is a tool in the toolbox. So having a separate, it could just be a living Word document where you put down your wins. Like I was able to create, if you're a systems thinker, right? I was able to create a workflow, in my office that saved us 25% because I made us more efficient by X, Y, and Z. We want to see those kinds of numbers and deliverables on resumes when we're reviewing you, because remember, what is a resume but your first impression on someone, right? Because there are a lot of candidates that are trying to find jobs, and there are lots of resumes going out there, and you want yours to stand out and to convey what your value is and how you align and fit in with that potential employer, because they too have a mission in their organization, right? They want to be able to help clients resolve their legal issues, whatever that is. And again, this data-driven decision-making mindset is so critically important. And what Kim said earlier too, yes, ask your managers and supervisors, ask if you're not employed and you're someone who is seeking employment, build your network. If that is one thing that I can leave you with today in terms of job hunting in the legal arena, your relationships, your developing and sustaining relationships is critical to your success in your job and career. And if you have not, and I know we're all virtual and we're just starting to be in person and be around each other again, but you have to make an effort to stay connected with people and develop relationships, right? Connect, collaborate. This data-driven decision-making mindset is really critical, not just to you, but your employers are also looking at this. And this term, entrepreneurship, I'm sure you've all heard of entrepreneurship. Kim, our friend here, is an entrepreneur, right? She worked for someone and eventually she had all these skills and ideas to say, hey, I can start my own business too. And she did, and she's doing it. But entrepreneurship, for those of you working within the four walls of a law firm or a business, this is basically being a good brand ambassador, being a good corporate citizen, right? Being a good steward of your company and resources thereof. Right, Kim?
Exactly. I think people ask what separates you and how do you get in? If I have no experience, this is it right here.
Having that attitude.
Having the attitude.
The attitude.
Attitude and the mindset.
It absolutely is. And these are the core things that we are trying to help you think about as you are seeking another job, right? You have to position yourself to be that top candidate who gets looked at, gets invited in for an interview, right? So think about how it is that you come across in terms of that brand ambassadorship, that person that is going to be a good steward within that law firm with the resources and the cases that you may be assigned. So we want to talk a little bit about the baseline or benchmarking. Where are we in this legal arena? Because we've talked about, gosh, we're in the middle of a radical shift Things are a changing, my friend. So where are we? Well, we know that employers are having kind of a hard time finding qualified candidates to stay in their positions. Why? Because we showed you a slide. People are looking for many things in terms of job and career satisfaction. They're looking for a good place to work that aligns with their mission and values in life, right? With good compensation, fair and reasonable wages for what they are contributing to the organization. And they generally want to be doing a good job in what they like to do, right? So where are businesses now? There are law firms, they are becoming very savvy, right? They are actually, and I say this, but it is, I say it with tongue in cheek, but it's kind of true. Law firms almost are like 10 years behind business, kind of like we were 10 years behind technology, right? Guess what this pandemic did? It ramped us all up really quick, right? We all had to get with the program, didn't we, Kim?
Everyone had to get with the program.
Everyone had to get with the program. And here's a real thing that's happening. And I call this underutilization. And for my paralegal folks out there, my peeps, paralegals are severely underutilized in law firms. And until I myself, and I speak for myself, could articulate how I could add additional value, i.e. money into this law firm or save money for this law firm, my role as a paralegal, a traditional paralegal within a small law firm, was underutilizing my skill set, because it wasn't until I could present and pitch what I could do in order to save and make money for this firm, then I was given those opportunities, right? But I was clear about what I wanted out of this. Do you see underutilization in the candidates that you have placed, Kim, when you do like your kind of background work with them?
What's incredible to me is I don't just place employees, because the next step of after placing employees, I'm interviewing all of those employees' former bosses for their references. And you know, 99% of the time, halfway through that reference check, a light bulb pops up in every single one of the managers' heads and said, the word underutilization is said more than 50% of the time. And that is why the candidate left the role, because they weren't being utilized to the maximum potential and they didn't feel job satisfaction. And so your bosses know this. Your bosses know you're being underutilized. They just don't have that aha moment yet. So it is your job to enlighten them and share with them how you are being underutilized by bringing that toolbox, showing your ROI and saying, here are the things I have done. Here's what else I can do. Be that innovator, be that driver, that creates your satisfaction. Underutilization.
Absolutely.
Highly happening. It's happening more and more now that you're at home, out of sight, out of mind. You've got to keep front of mind and continuing to power your career forward.
And here's a pro tip strategy that Kim and I have talked about. How? It's called lifelong learning, my friends. You are here today because you are interested in what? Bettering yourself, accessing resources, getting more educated so you can empower yourself, right? To get that job that you want, to position yourself to evolve in your current role, whatever it is that it may be, right? For you, because it's different for all of us here. We're all in different situations. And, for us who are new, right? Maybe we're a law student, or, we're still in our paralegal training, or, we just have zero experience and we're looking to enter the field. I like to call this the magical 2 years. This always comes up in my conversations with students who typically have 0 years of experience. And they say, Kristine, all these job ads that I'm seeing, right? They're all asking for at least 2 years of legal experience. I have 0. What do I do? And I tell them, well, there's a couple things that you can do here, right? Have you started to join any kind of professional trade associations and build your network? Have you found a mentor? Have you found people that can help you find opportunities to gain that experience? I also say to people, like, if you have the bandwidth, perhaps try some temporary positions, even as a receptionist, a file clerk, where you can get your foot in the door and some experience. Because you know what happened to me in this law firm? I started as a file clerk. In 6 months, I was made a legal assistant. Within a few months after that, I was the paralegal. And now I'm the senior paralegal business development director, right? So it really just depends on what you are interested in and how you want to acquire those skills. And if you are still a student, now is the time. It is perfect for you to start accessing opportunities in areas of interest for you. right? Doing a strengths assessment, understanding what are my past experiences, work experiences that can be relevant or transferable into a role in the legal environment. This is where it's important to work with someone like a Kim, who is a subject matter expert and a recruiter, who staffs people and sees that magical alignment of what the employer needs and what you have to offer as a candidate. Right, Kim?
Exactly. And you have to also remember, as Kristine said earlier, it is an employee's market. And so that employer is advertising their wish list. They want a purple unicorn with a rainbow tail who can make it rain money. Of course, they're advertising for their dream list. So you have to keep that in mind, and not feel defeated when applying to jobs, because they're advertising for their dream list. In a normal world, an employer hopes to achieve about 85% of that dream list that they're advertising for. In today's world, employee world, we're looking at 60 to 70% they're happy with achieving. So got to get out there and bring your tools to the table.
Yes, and I love talking about this kind of masters of law and masters of procedure. And here's what I mean by this, especially when I'm training people who are entering the legal profession. There is a bright line between obviously an attorney and a legal professional, because attorneys, these are the licensed professionals, right, that are working to resolve these really, really critical legal issues for people. They're trained, they're the masters of the law. They're trained in the substantive law, the theory of law, and going out to court and doing oral arguments and doing whatever they need, going to trial. They are those trained and learned, licensed legal professionals, lawyers. But the legal professionals, on the other hand, who are not lawyers, are what we talk about as being masters of procedure. We are like the best friend to the attorney, right? We are the ones that are like, okay, I'm quarterbacking for you. I am your second eyes instead of ears, and I'm watching for landmines and pitfalls, and I'm trying to get you to where you need to go. And that means I have to be on my A game, right? I am organized, I am professional, I know my role and task. I know my lane, meaning I'm not going to get outside of that lane as a legal professional and start practicing law, unauthorized practice of law, or breaching ethical duties and responsibilities. I know slaying in my lane. I'm staying and slaying in my lane as a master of procedures, but together. And it's good to understand these two roles and how they are together, because together, the masters of law and masters of procedure are like the masters of the universe, right? We are a well-oiled team and machine. And when you can embrace that as a lawyer, when you can embrace that as a legal professional, that is where the magic happens and the efficiency happens and the trust happens, and where you can start saying, hey, what if we thought about doing it this way? Or have you thought about implementing this workflow or whatnot? And how do we start learning about information that we, may want to be like innovating ideas or these workflows? We have to constantly educate ourselves. There are so many opportunities anymore, especially online. You can do it from the comfort of your desk during your lunch hour, right? You can jump on, I'll give you an example, the San Diego Paralegal Association. I hope there are some members on today. Every Friday, they have this amazing program, virtual, and people from all over the United States attend. And it's from 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific time. And it's called Virtual Lunch with Leaders. And the focus is professional growth or professional development through personal growth. So invited are these amazing people in all sorts of industries and walks of life who are coming and sharing best practices on how to develop yourself and to grow professionally. And they're free, right, Kim? So that mindset again of lifelong learning is so important when we are thinking of how we are going to evolve in our role or evolve out of our role into another role.
Anonymous attendee asked, what advice do you have for people who know what they are capable of doing, but not quite what more is? Excellent question, because I thought about this actually when we were talking before, and how if you want to develop a plan, but you don't know what you want quite yet, also completely okay. But what Kristine just said is that networking piece. That is how you're going to open up those opportunities to even think and dream about what's possible. It's okay not to know. Most people don't know. It's okay that you didn't start your legal career with a crystal clear plan of what you knew, like Kristine did. You will end up in a wonderful place, but you need to utilize the resources at hand. You need to have mentors. You need to network with people. You need to network with meaning. What do you want to get out of these associations, seminars. What did you come here for today? Think about it. Why did you join this course today? What did you want to leave here with? Do things with a purpose so that at the end of the month, the year, you can say, here's what I accomplished through all of my efforts. And here is where I've grown personally and professionally and where I wanted to continue to take my career. You don't need to have, and nowadays people don't ask the 5-year, 10-year plan. I personally don't like the 5-year, 10-year plan. That means you're not agile. If you have a 10-year plan, how are you going to have a 10-year plan? Did we know we were going to go through a global pandemic? It's just not possible. But it's important to know generally what you like, what you're passionate about, and help use others to guide you in your options. There's an incredible amount of options out there, more than we could ever sit and discuss with you. And the more you talk to people, the most fascinating part about my job is every time I talk to someone, I learn something. So take that in your networking. What are you going to learn from someone? Go out there and learn from other people and start developing that plan. You don't have to know today, and you will still end up somewhere amazing. You don't have to know tomorrow. You don't have to know next year. You just want to continue to evolve and continue to utilize your resources in education and continue to propel yourself forward and get involved so that you can keep redefining who you are and what you want to do and being agile in the market.
Right? We are beings reinvention. Right? So anonymous, I hope that answers your question, but I also want to do another pro tip for you because Kim and I do this in our practice as well, especially me as an educator, her as a recruiter and a staffing expert. We are coaches. We coach people. So it might be that you need to see someone, seek out a coach, especially, someone that you can really work with and develop this, because you can start with like that career development plan. And I love what Kim said, a 10-year plan, really, do like a 6-month, 1 year, 3 years, like put it out in that framework where you're listing. And this is what I have my students do for the career development plan, every phase of that. So in 6 months, where will I be? And where do I hope to be? And then to make it a SMART goal, right? Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. So you're going to list all that out when you make your goal, like, oh, I'm just going to join a network. Great. And, so you can put it on your resume. You have to be active. I'm going to attend X, Y, and Z events. I'm going to meet one new person at each event. I'm going to send an email and connect and ask for a meetup. I'm going to, be that specific, right? Especially if you're here and you are seeking a job in the legal arena, that is your job right now, right? That is your job right now. So you have to invest that kind of strategic thinking and planning so that you can find yourself on the path to accessing those opportunities. And people, like I said earlier, those connections are powerful, extremely powerful. So that might be a pro tip for you, is maybe start looking for a coach, that is specific to the legal industry. And if you've never worked with a recruiter, hit up Kim and ask her if she has any recommendations, right? Our contact information is at the end of this presentation. I do want to answer Irene B's question. Where do we join these meetings? And I'm assuming you mean those virtual lunch with leaders, or VLL. Well, Irene, you can find that on the San Diego Paralegal Association's website. And that is SD, like San Diego, SDParalegals, plural.org. And there is an events tab, and you can register, and they're free and they're marvelous. That is an investment in you. And I hope that answers your question. If you have any other comments and questions you want, please for us to answer, please put them in the question and answer box. So where are we going, Kim? We've decided, oh God, we're in the middle of a great resignation. Everyone's fleeing, mass exodus from the legal field, and people are trying to find jobs. And how do I do that? And am I going to be part of the great reshuffling? What's happening here? We know that, yes, this is going on. And Kim said, I see it kind of slowing down a bit, but now is the time. Your opportunities lie ahead, but you have to gauge this for yourself. Do an assessment of where you are. What makes you happy? Why are you here? Are there changes that you want to make within your firm or where you are planted? Or do I want to kind of evolve and grow into something different? And if that is the case, what is that? Be specific about that, right? And if you want to work with someone who is a coach that can help you process that, where are we going? Well, what opportunities are available to us as these lawyers and legal professionals? A lot. If you're not on LinkedIn, get on LinkedIn. Get your professional LinkedIn profile with a professional headshot set up immediately. That should be your number one action item from today's webinar together, right? If you don't have a professional LinkedIn current profile, work on that as your
Current.
right? Because here's a little pro tip too. People who are looking for candidates, i.e. the Kims of the world, they look at LinkedIn profiles and you know what they're looking at? Keywords. They're looking at, one, do you have relevant experience for the job that I'm trying to, fill with a candidate? Do you have the leadership background, or, do you have the skills, what we call knowledge, skills, and abilities to be able to be successful? Because like Kim said, the job descriptions are like 100% dream, ideal, perfect candidate, right? That the employers want. But what's happening in real life is what Kim said, yeah, it's about 60% of that list. You can't have the whole thing, but you can have the majority of those items. And we are looking for candidates who have transferable skills or the mindset or the attitude that will help them be successful in that career, even without the relevant experience that was listed as, necessary.
A requirement.
Yeah, a requirement. We do have anonymous attendees saying, what if you were undervalued, utilized at your previous company, and it is also imparted a toxic environment? Oh my. It affects an employee's morale so bad, but when you go in search of other jobs, you're asked to get a reference. Will a recruiter do a background check with the said previous company without the candidate's knowledge? How do we go about that? That's a good question, Kim. You want to answer that one?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And no, that would be highly unethical. There's some people that may, it's a hard question actually, because the San Diego legal market is a closed market. And when you're running circles, things overlap. And so I think the most important thing is always to maintain as best positive relationships as you can. Never, ever burn bridges. There's easy ways to communicate and exit places, work with HR, work with partners, work with whomever you need to work with to keep above the board, if you will. But no one should be going to your employer at any point without your blessing.
Absolutely. That is highly unethical.
Highly unethical.
Kim is right, though. My goodness. You know what? You have to, especially in San Diego, newsflash, if you didn't know, this is a tiny, small legal environment. We all know each other, especially for people like us who've been in the field for like 20 years. If we don't know you, we know of you. Or we know someone who knows something of you. It's not even 6 degrees of separation anymore.
No.
Kim. It's like
it's
3 like 2 degrees.
3 degrees of separation.
It's crazy. So yeah, she's spot on. She is spot on for anonymous asking this question. Don't make a habit of burning bridges. Build relationships. Look on the flip side of it. What can I do? What is available to me? How can I network with people who will give me those great references? Did I join a professional association with a mentor? Or did I volunteer my time at another, like a clinic, legal clinic somewhere that people just thought the moon and stars of you and would give you the best reference ever? Find yourself in those opportunities. And I know it's hard because it's a mindset thing, isn't it? I tell this to my students. If you're a no in life, you're going to no to every question you're going to ask coming forward in your future. Can I do this job? If you have a negative attitude, likely, what I can guarantee you? No. Can I actually become this so-and-so senior paralegal in business development? Well, if you have a negative attitude, guess what? No. No, the chances are likely no, that you're not going to access those opportunities because you've already defeated yourself, right? In your self-talk. So hopefully anonymous, that answers your question. We have a lot of questions, Kim. Often I see must have ABA paralegal. However, there's other programs online, not ABA. How do I know I'll get a job in the legal field and not ABA? Well, I'll speak for San Diego because from the recruiters that I spoke with here in our area, in our region, most of them are looking for these like ABA approved paralegal training programs. Why? Because it's a standard that the attorneys want. Because here's the thing, remember that magical 2 years? You know what the underlying root of that is? Attorneys, they don't want to train people. They want you to hit the floor running. You know why? They're busy. And they can't think about that, especially if you're a small law firm, which like 90% of us are here in San Diego, or small to mid-sized law firms, with very few large law firms in San Diego.
Very few.
So Kim, do you have anything to add to that in terms of what if I went to school and they weren't ABA approved? Is that what happens?
I would think because of the small nature of the unique nature of San Diego's legal landscape, like Kristine said, I mean, there's only 30 some larger scale firms that have a presence. And there was a statistic out there many, many years back, but 2,700 firms under 5 attorneys in San Diego. That's not going to make a difference to the smaller firms. It is going to make a difference at the larger law firms. More national firms.
Thank you. And the next, and we hope that answers your question. Anonymous also says, is there a market for older workers in the legal arena? Yes,
always.
Absolutely. That's called experience.
Experience.
Yes, absolutely. So, oh, there's a great resource I want to share with you, Anonymous, who's asking this about older workers. Sherry Estrin, who's like the queen bee of all things paralegal. That is Chere. Estrin is Estrin. She actually does webinars on this about how to approach age discrimination in the workplace. That's real. That there is. You know, I'll be frank with you. It exists, but it's not a what do you call it, Kim? A hurdle?
It's not a roadblock. It's just a hurdle.
It's just a hurdle.
Don't be your own roadblock.
Don't be your own roadblock. How to negotiate, Sal is asking, how to negotiate salary for a prospective job when your experience is limited, but you do have transferable skills. Kim, you want to take a swing at that one?
I mean, we could do a whole seminar on this. I think it's very dependent on your experience and very dependent on what you're going for. If you'd like to ping me, Sal, I'd be happy to workshop it with you.
Yeah, that is actually a really excellent topic. And really, again, it's being able to articulate and translate your transferable skills into that, because again, what Kim says, the economics of law, right? It's real and that exists. And Kaz says, and not be an ABA grad, although I have multiple years in public policy investigation. Again, this is the same kind of question we answered with Sal, right? It depends on your transferable skill set. So this is what we're talking about. You have to do the work. That is your work, is to figure out, how do I articulate and say, all of my past experience in public policy, investigation, XYZ, this is how it will benefit you in this job and why I can be successful in that role. It has to be aligned and a good fit, right, Kim?
Yes.
And
or the story just has to be compelling. You need a compelling, work on that elevator pitch, work on that story. You need a compelling story with your ROI.
Absolutely.
Plus, attitude, ability, and motivation. Those are my posters here. Attitude determines how well you do it. Ability is what you're capable of doing, and motivation determines what you will do.
Tweetable moment, Kim. Yes. Hello. That is success in life. Eating says, how can I contact a legal job search coach? I have a legal education, but no legal experience. All of my students, well, not all, I'll say 75% of my students find themselves in your position. And what do? You get active, my friend. What you do is you start joining, who knows where the jobs are, who knows how to get you in those jobs and tell you the real skinny on it, the people who are in those jobs. So your local trade associations, your bar associations, your specialty bar associations, your lawyers clubs, your paralegal associations in your region, your specialized areas that you may want to explore, such as ACEDS. ACEDS is the Association of E-Discovery Specialists, and they actually just started and launched a San Diego chapter. There's Women in E-Discovery, there's ESI Forum, there's the Federal Bar Association. There's just everything under the sun available to you. It's about being resourceful, considerate, intentional, purposeful, clear about what it is that you want to access and what resources exist to access those. We are at 12:53 for the interest of time. We're going to blow through these and then get through the rest of our information, and then we will be available for a little bit of Q&A afterwards, and we will provide you with our contact information so you can, interact with us separately outside of this webinar. So Kaz says, an experience, the wrath of unethical lawyers, and know many ethical lawyers. My experience was very public, only to prevail on every lawyer, the unethical hit me. That's a really unfortunate situation. Yeah, and so you're really gonna have to find strategies to figure out how you build, right? You build the positive side of it, right? And I know that's a really, really tough situation to be in, right? But there is a way.
So career coach will help you navigate that. I mean, there's ways to overcome and tell that story. So work with someone in a professional capacity for that.
Good tip. Good pro tip, Kim. Christina Huff says ABA approval is often required because many large corporations and insurance companies that hire firms require ABA approved paralegal certificates for paralegals as part of their billing guidelines. True. I mean, that's a fact, but there are very few large law firms in San Diego. So hello, people who don't have the ABA thing, that's okay. The preference sure is ABA because it's a standard, right? And lawyers are like, oh, I know, I'm familiar with ABA. So I feel confident in having someone who has that framework or background in their education and training, right? But Christina makes a good point in that, yeah, these large law firms, they really want to see that. But what about all the small and mid-sized law firms? They may not necessarily require an ABA or a certificate at all. Sometimes, having 20 years of experience and no formal certificate or training, sometimes they want someone who has that kind of hit the ground running background and won't need to be trained or whatever. But it just depends on the situation, the job you're seeking, right?
And Christina, excellent. Yeah, excellent point though, to add that, because that is a part of knowing the economics, right? We need to understand what our law firm's clients want. If our law firm client is a government entity and in the request for proposal, they had to line out the qualifications of all their paralegals. Guess what? When staffing for that team to win that client or to look at who internally can we build a team out of, you have to have the requirements that were promised in that request for proposal. So the economics of the law firm, all very important. And thank you for mentioning that, because that is a part of the economics of, the nuances of hiring. There's certainly that back end that's important.
So as we were talking about, we got a slew of questions, right, Kim? So I do see Kaz, and she's saying, please have any links or referrals mentioned in our session. We will try our best to do that in the constraints of time. But what we have mentioned so far are the San Diego Paralegals website, sdparalegals.org, the Federal Bar Association. These are easy to Google, San Diego County Bar Association, Lawyers Club. There are so many organizations to avail, but we will try to our best to drop those links in the Q&A feature here. We were talking about where are we and how are we going to get there, right? There's so many opportunities. Kim, do you want to share briefly about some of the opportunities you've seen that are maybe not traditional for legal professionals?
I had a tremendous offer yesterday, which was so exciting because I've been working with a candidate who was a former paralegal, went into the conflicts world, was really interested in risk, and then found a real passion and just wanted to really dive into the technology piece. And so she went to work for this really unique organization. And over the past year, I've been working with her and kind of dissecting what she loves about her job, what doesn't love about her job, where her dissatisfaction points have really come to a head, and where she wants to navigate her career forward. And 3 weeks ago, I had a client call me, excellent national law firm, one of my favorite clients that operates in 13 states. And the HR director said, Kim, I've got this really strange role. I don't even know if anyone like this exists. Like, let me share with you a little bit about it. We need someone to be like a technology investigator and help look into our AI capabilities, but they're not really tech and they're not really legal. They're just kind of savvy and they really need to be passionate. And I said, I have the perfect candidate. I've been working with them for some time. But the point of this story is that you never know where a potential candidate or where a potential opportunity can come from. And I've been working with this candidate in San Diego. The role came out of Houston and the manager sits in Chicago. And it's just an incredible opportunity for her to investigate technologies, partner with attorneys and staff throughout, a 1,000 attorney firm or 1,000 employer firm. And I could never have come up with this idea. She could never have come up with this idea, but it's through networking. It's through continuing to have conversations, through continuing to hone in on what's exciting and where your skills lie and what the potentials could be out there, and continue to keep that network open and conversations flowing. You'll find a door that opens that you wouldn't expect.
Absolutely. Great points, Kim. I do want to, because of the interest of time, we're at 12:58. I'm going to move us a little bit forward about mindset matters and just do, kind of a recap here, what we talked about today, right? Mindset matters. Think about what resources are available to you right in front of you, right? If you're employed, what is available to you at your current workplace? Do they do tuition reimbursement? Do they encourage you to be active with professional associations? Will they support you on the work hours for that? Do they provide you with, access to mentors? There's so many things at your current workplace if you are employed to think about. But if you are seeking a job, think about if you are still in school or your alumni association, right? Any professional associations, alumni associations, volunteer organizations. You might have a passion for helping and rescuing dogs. You might have a passion for helping elderly folks or disabled folks or children in need or foster children, or, like immigration issues where you can volunteer your time and learn about these respective practice areas. You never know. Think outside of the box.
And if they don't offer these things, ask. The worst that can happen is say no. Bring a proposal to the table. I'd like to join this association. It's this much a year, annually. This is what it will give me access to. Here's what I'm committed to participate in. And here is what I will bring to the firm because of my continued education in this area or resources I can bring into the firm. Ask, make a pitch and proposal. Always ask. The worst that can happen is no.
Absolutely.
And the best that can happen is you have a well-defined pitch and proposal that you've crafted.
Exactly. And you're no better or worse off. You're right in the same place. Don't be afraid of the word no. You know how I like to frame it for myself? No for now. Because I am persuasive and persistent. So like I just no for now. We'll revisit this in a month, or whatever it is, or I'll find another way. Right. I have the determination. So, and I love this because not only is it your mindset, it's the people that you surround yourself with, right? The mindset is like that talk, the self-talk tape. Don't be doubtful. Don't be doubting yourself. Don't be what Kim says. Don't be your own worst roadblock, right? Mindset matters. The people around you matters. When you don't believe in yourself, find people that will believe in you. That's why mentors and coaches are important, right? Investing in you. Also make sure that you access opportunities that are going to build you and grow you. This lifelong learning, this is serious. If this is a career for you and not just a job where you clock in and clock out, you can do some meaningful work and build a legacy. What is that for you? And that is the whole point of today's conversation, is getting to the heart of that, right? You becoming the career architect of your career. What does you build out your own career? I'm a testimony to that, right? Kim has seen and witnessed hundreds of people doing this. But it starts with you. It starts with you having an honest conversation about who you authentically are and where you want to take this, right? Look at this. This is a roadmap of what I've been able to accomplish for myself because I've set goals. I put myself, around people who helped me, who helped build these opportunities for me. And I mentioned to Kim, what's not on here is I just was recently appointed by the Chief Justice of the California Supreme Court, Justice Tani Contil-Sakuye, to the Center for Judicial Research and Education Advisory Committee. I am neither a lawyer nor a judge. And I was appointed to serve on this Judicial Education and Advisory Committee. Why? Because they're my network and the experience, and I knew how to articulate that, knowledge, skills, and abilities, or KSAs as we call them, to how this could benefit that position, right? Kim, look at her, my gosh, a wealth of information, right? Someone who worked for someone and now works for herself. She is living testimony of that. So definitely reach out to us. Let us know, how we may help you, how we can provide you with resources. Thank you, MCA, for that clap. We appreciate that. We are here to help. It is 1:03. We respect your time, and we hope you took away something valuable today. And we thank Lisa Foster and the San Diego County Law Library for the invitation to share this past hour with all of you folks.
It has been our pleasure to have you. Thank you for so much wisdom crammed into 1 hour. And I just really like the spirit and the attitude you bring to this subject matter. Also, if I could chime in, think outside the box, everybody. I have a legal background. I've worked as a lawyer in multiple capacities, and then later in life found law librarianship as a career. And it has been really a wonderful way to use my legal skills. So there's a lot of out of the box opportunities like that where you can bring your legal skills and training and help people and do great work. And I get to work with folks like Kim and Kristine, which is such a pleasure. Yeah, so thank you, everybody. And take a snapshot of this screen if you need their information. I think it's really wonderful opportunity for you to be able to reach out to these ladies if you're looking for some guidance. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
This was so fun. Thank you, Kristine. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, everyone, for attending.